Hey, there we are. Look at you. You got like 50% headroom. Good on you. Good job.
Thanks. I made it myself.
Good evening, sir. How are you? How's everything?
Oh, with the sandbags under my eyes and the gray hairs on my head, nothing's happened. I've never worked once in my entire life.
Sounds about right. I would agree with that. I don't know why I keep you around, but it's a thing. I don't know. It's a charitable thing. I guess it's my pro bono or whatever.
I take solace in knowing you'll die before me.
Oh God, one can only hope. One can only hope.
But it's gonna be a long time. You ain't dying soon, nerd. Ha!
Yeah,
Suffer.
My people last long. Short people.
Yeah.
I mean, my people.
Long lives, short height. Yeah.
Why do I feel like I'm blurry? Am I blurry?
You are blurry. That's why. Yeah.
Oh, we'll see what happens. Ed King, look at you're just too kind. I'm too kind. I didn't even start saying anything nice yet. Everything was mean. I thought. I could be wrong.
For the record, I love Greg before we talk crap about each other.
Oh yeah. Do we have to give disclaimers? Is that where we're at now?
No, I'm just doing it.
Oh. Okay. All right. No, I thought everybody already knew that I don't like you, but it's a business transaction, much like most of my marriages. Oh, jeez.
Ew. You're nasty, girl.
Listen, I love being married. That's why I keep doing it.
Yeah, you like marriage so much, you've done it, what, thrice?
No, well, twice for sure. One is on the way. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. We all know she doesn't like me well enough to actually marry me, but it's okay.
What's that song? I'm just a sucker for pain. Oh, man.
I really wish this wasn't blurry. It's kind of bothering me now, actually. Did I fix it?
You made it worse.
No, I made it better. No, I didn't.
Just wait. Go back. Just step back. You cannot do this the whole stream. This is your last try. Keep it. You're done. You're grounded.
Whatever. I'm only doing this marriage stuff once.
Hey, Greg.
There's my partner. There's my baby right there.
What are we? Your baby? That's a big baby. What the heck?
Listen, we cuddle. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't get mad.
You cuddle your baby?
Do I hear? Is there jealousy coming out of that? Is that what I hear?
You know that's not what I'm talking about. No. Hey, Papa, we look tired. What have we been doing?
Oh my God! You know what? We can talk all about. We got one more minute a minute and a half to ramble. Oh, baby daddy, that's right. He's my sugar daddy. Is what he is.
Dang, Greg all of a sudden was born in Chicago instead of Connecticut. Look at
that. Whatever. Leo, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, Leo's in here.
I know. She sent me a message, Leo. Thank you very much. Leo's wife is going to do a wonderful, wonderful thing, and she's finally going to get what I've been looking for a couple of years now, and that is an actual Papa patch. So she's working on the logo. We're going to get an actual Papa patch. So we're working on it. What have we been working on? Everything and then some. 28,000 square feet. That's what we're working on. Trying to make all of that come true for us and for you guys. So we're getting there. We got about 40 seconds left before Toucan's just going to take this off and rip right through all the upcoming events. You may notice, if you guys are pretty smart, you might notice there'll be some emphasis on a couple of events in there. Might have something to do with who the special guest tonight is. Could be, could maybe not. Don't know.
Let's just say there's going to be events in here that we usually don't have because of our special guest. And we got to give him the spotlight, if you will. He's very special. Speaking
of spotlight, it is.
Laugh at this user.
I don't know how to do this. Listen, nobody knows how to really work this thing. Go ahead. It's on you. It's your show now. Take it.
All right. You're looking at highs of 98, partly cloudy with a chance of rain. And another. Okay.
Florida, it's going to rain.
All right. Let's get this done. I'm not saying all the events. We're going to end it sooner than later. So, right. Prattle and rattle. Here we go. This weekend, Thunderdome, 23rd to the 25th in Durham, North Carolina. Thunderdome 5. You're looking at the EXO and the massive tiny screen CO right there, leading the USSR forces against the filthy capitalist NATO American dogs. It's going to be awesome. That's in the Northgate Mall in Durham, North Carolina. Shout out to our boy, Kevin
Presented by
Operation Lion Claws. Ripping and rolling right through there because I can do this. August 31st is American MilSim's Copperhead 9 at the Playas Training Center and Observation Tower. It is. Wait, I hope. I don't want to say much actually because I want him to talk about Copper.
Yeah.
For sure. So you know what? That's a shocker. Playas, New Mexico, or Playas, New Mexico. Playas. Moving right along because I want Bo to talk about it. I want to hear his beautiful, sweet nothings. Right into September. We're not stopping. We're romping and rolling here. September 13th to the 15th, it is the Yellow Dog Outbreak, Yellow Dog 3 in Warwick, New York by Players Wanted Airsoft Events. It is a force-on-force with a zombie faction TFR. Airstrikes? No, zombies. Special infected. Force-on-force objective play with a fun zombie TFR. Again, that's by Players Wanted Events in Warwick, New York. Show up. It's awesome. It's on the sprawling Hudson Sports Complex, formerly known as the Orange County Correctional Facility. Ripping it like a Beyblade. Let it rip. I'm going right into September. We're not stopping. September 20th to the 22nd. That's VFA's Battle at Six Flags in Nolens, in New Orleans, Louisiana. We'll be there, green team. If you're tan team, like my precious Rhodesians, I'm going to cry. It's going to be an awesome event by the illustrious Freddie Lux of the credible, comparable, and wonderful Veterans for Airsoft. It is a by veterans, for veterans Airsoft event producing company. Mission statement rules. Shout out to Jack's Airsoft Fest. That was really fun, despite us cooking like bacon on the tarmac. Gotta love them. Moving right to the end of September, September 28th to the 29th. I'm talking AMS's Central Front 4. I'm not going to say much. Ideally, our special guest, our very special guest, will talk about Central Front 4. That's in Alton, Illinois, at the Bing Field. On Bingfield Road. I laughed. Moving right along. We're ending this soon because I just want to talk to our guy here.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Give us the last one.
You know what? Yeah. There's the last one. We'll skip a couple. No, we can't. No, we got to talk about. No. We got three more.
4 weeks to talk to this guy. Let's do it.
I know. AMS 1861 at the McNeil Scout Ranch at Peaceful Valley. Bo ideally is going to talk about that. 1861-3 going to be awesome, and he's going to tell us why. Absolutely rules. We're talking October 18th to the 20th. We couldn't skip over this one. Operation Crossbones by Third Coast Airsoft in Milledgeville, Georgia. A new format of MilSim play. It is a missions-based, operations-based. It's going to be fantastic. Shout out to our man Sal and the TCA staff.
TCA stretching their legs a little bit. Nice to see it.
Oh, yeah. It's always good to see it. And last.
Oh, you got one more?
Man, I'll slap the crap out of you when I say this one. October 25th to the 27th, New Breed Airsoft proudly presents Operation Backyard. You wanted me to skip it. Our affiliate event producer, New Breed Airsoft, I'm just going to say it like that and own it, is having an airsoft event called Op Backyard at Outdoor Extreme Orlando Paintball and Airsoft in Orlando, Florida. It is it's a cookout themed force on force event. Loads of fun. Follow New Breed Airsoft for more details. Enough of that.
Say his name.
Get him in here.
Who's coming in? There he is.
There he is. Now get me off the screen.
What's happening?
I got us all here. Let's see. We're going to put him over here. There it is. Mr. Bo Stewart, American MilSim. Thank you very much. We finally made it happen.
Okay.
Finally made it happen.
Sorry, guys.
Thank you very much for coming in. Really do appreciate it.
I think you're the most, of all the guests, you're the one where I've just been like, oh, I can't wait to meet you. And then you couldn't make it to one. So there's actually suspense. I'm like, is he going to be on this one?
I was getting nervous. It was 6:59.
For having me on board, man. I appreciate it.
No, it's absolutely fantastic. I really do appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
Before we're going to do the intro, I think, did we meet one time in person? I feel like I met you one time in person.
I think we have. So,
oh wait.
oh yeah, yes, I recognize.
Yeah.
but I
Bo, you're still a little choppy, but
the audio comes in and out a little bit. The picture's fine. The audio is coming in and out.
okay.
But what are we gonna do? So we'll deal with it.
Yep, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Talk a little slower. Is that better?
Oh, actually, yeah, that was a complete sentence.
It caught up to you. So yeah,
Okay.
it was actually a little bit better.
It's not slow, but I will definitely give it.
Okay, we'll see how it works.
Yeah.
It's pacing itself there. I wonder if I don't want to go through that. I don't want to kick him out and bring it back in.
No, it's not going to work. We're going to deal with it. We have him. If we let him go, he might not come back.
I'll be here.
All right. Allowed us for some reason.
Oh, I'm going to be here. I'm going to.
I felt like, and I have a terrible memory, so this absolutely may not be. I felt like I met you in Texas, though. Did you? And the only time I've ever played in Texas was at Fort Hood, was when I played Starburst, and I don't think you were there for that.
I wasn't there for that. I did.
No,
I didn't.
But I feel like we met once.
Lou event.
I have
old days there, and the only time that I have been there.
Okay. I have yet to play, and it's funny. We're going to talk about it. I want to go. You know what? We'll get into all this. So,
okay.
AMS. I'm going to let you do your intro, unless of course you go mute, and then we'll figure out how to get the intro. I wanted to have you on. You know, here, Southwest Florida, we've got guys. One of the largest states in the country, and there's a lot of guys here that play that don't go to some of the largest events like AMS, like MilSim West, like TCA, and we're trying to meet everybody, get that conversation out there, so people actually now know who's who and where they can go and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest purpose for this. Also for me, meeting some of the people I haven't had the opportunity to meet or don't remember meeting. It's a big deal for me as well. And I want to talk about your upcoming, if none of the other ones, your next upcoming event. I really want to talk about. I've been trying to go to it for 3 years. But before we do that, please, by all means, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about AMS, please.
Okay. So if you guys cannot hear me, I'll try to slow down. But is that coming in pretty?
I want to try one thing for me before we go into it, because it is coming in and out. The restream settings for your audio, is there a echo cancellation? I think is what they're
audio.
There's echo cancellation and noise suppression.
Suppression is on.
Okay.
Turn it off.
Try turning those off to see if it just comes right through. And guys, sorry, we will get this together. Just give us a second. We are getting it together.
A little better.
It keeps popping in and out. I thought it was that because I can hear a little bit of echo in the room, so I thought that's what was going on. I thought that might have been going on.
How about 1, 2, 3? How about this?
No. Oh.
1, 2. Is this a little better? I turned off.
No. Sorry, man. We're definitely gonna figure this out. I can hear myself now. Yeah, I can actually hear myself.
Okay.
Turn the echo suppression back on.
Yeah.
And then we'll do our best. We'll do our best. Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, that's
so
crazy. I'm not doing well. I mean,
it's got to be us. I've seen you do other streams before where it came through clear.
Yeah.
It's definitely us.
Well, is it? I mean, can you?
Let me.
If you had an earbud or headphones, that would fix it. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that connection. You wish you.
So, guys, while Bo's looking for that.
Give me 2 seconds.
Thank you very much, Jones. He'll be back. We're not going anywhere. this is it. We got him. We got him locked in.
Is
I'm
it?
not letting him get away.
We got his leg in the bear trap. We ain't letting him go. This is it.
So, but we've been trying to, it's. And I'm going to tell a quick little story about Bo too. 2 years ago, when we did Clash of the Titans, Bo was actually one of my first phone calls. I wanted to try to get it to be him and Sal. That was my original. If you remember that, Bo, yep, that was my original thought. I wanted it to be, because these guys barely get to play as it is, and getting these two guys from these two companies, putting them out there, and there was some people had some concerns. There was concerns that we would divide the community and things like that. I heard some people say things like it. I mean, ultimately, when we did Clash, that's not what happened at all. It was actually one of the best events we've ever done because people bonded more than they did divide. It was really kind of cool. But your schedule. I mean, if you go and look, and I put the website up there. I'm gonna keep moving things around for you. Your schedule is absolutely maniacal.
Bananas.
Yeah. So getting you to do anything outside of what has been planned, 7-8 months already.
Oh, God.
I know is impossible to do. So having you on tonight is really great.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna
let me see if
while you put your headphones on, I'm gonna move you out and bring you back in. Yep. Let's see.
Hopefully this fixes it too. Actually, while we wait, fun fact, we've completed the equivalent of an Xbox achievement. We so far have had the 3 biggest airsoft producers in the country on our stream. Isn't that wild?
It is, and I am ecstatic over it. Let's see, he's got his headphones on. Give me a nod like this, Bo, if you're ready to go. And I'm wait for him to give us the nod. Thumbs up, you're good?
All right, let's let her rip.
Let her rip. Put him back in my. There we go.
Can you guys hear me now?
All right. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
But it's.
You can't.
You go to your settings and switch. Oh, he can't hear me.
Yeah.
You just gotta tell. Oh.
Okay. There's a big delay between your camera and your voice. We'll figure it out.
It's fine. It works.
Yep,
it works. We can hear him.
So better than what was before.
We're moving on. Yep, it's good. It works. It's fine.
Yeah,
Bo, you would like to talk about your upcoming event, Copperhead 9, I think it's in
I'd like him to introduce himself first. Do you mind?
Oh, that too, of course.
Do you mind?
Yep.
Let the guest talk about himself.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, this is better.
It's a little bit better. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. Yep.
Okay. So obviously, my name, but been doing for a long time now. It's going on our 12th year with him, and we're just pushed. And 4 or 5 years really got started, and I've been through a couple of.
Hang on, we're losing a bunch of information.
I know what's going on. There's a delay with the audio to the camera, and the cuts try to catch up to him talking with the camera. Do you notice that?
Yeah. Yep.
We literally can't understand you. So sorry. Fuck. Oh, whoops. Should have said that. What do we do?
Either lower the camera quality. Are you at 480 or 720? Checking those settings.
This sucks.
I know, man.
Pretty good. My typical, my podcast, I do it all the time on this thing.
I know.
Video,
so weird.
Video is Res 480. It's auto 720 by 30.
Do me a favor, just leave and come back into the stream. Let's just see if that works. It worked in the past. Leave and come back come right back in. And I don't know if it's. I mean, it's seldom.
And take it off auto. Yeah.
Back in.
Yep.
So just I guess restart it and then.
So I don't know if I have any more anecdotes about Bo though. So But
his camera was
really
on auto.
His camera was
right?
on auto. You said?
Was it?
I don't think that's what he said.
What he said?
It out.
Oh,
I want him to. I want to get through with the introduction because I want him to talk about Copperhead, because Copperhead is one of those events that I've been wanting to go to since I learned about what it is, and I want him to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it for him. I want him to talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wait for him. He is not back in yet, but it'll be all right. So, guys, stick around. He's coming back. I promise he's coming back.
And when he comes in, make sure his camera isn't on auto.
Everybody, fingers crossed. Let's go for it.
All right. How about now?
Oh, God.
Oh!
That was beautiful. There it is.
Yes!
Let's go.
Oh, my God. I was sweating. Oh.
All right, let's try this. Okay. Welcome, Bo Stewart from American MilSim. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Again, sorry, guys, for all the confusion. I'm really sorry. And no. having me. So here we go.
Anyway. Let's start all over. Give it a shot. Tell us about you, who you are, your company, everything like that.
All right. In a nutshell, AMS been doing this for about 12 years, and we have just pushed over about our 80th event, which has been really great. I know. 80.
Wow.
And so we have been very fortunate to learn through the years with multiple owners how to do this, what we think is pretty good. Of course, we're always learning and still trying to do the best we can at all these events and dealing with everything in the airsoft industry. But it's been really good. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. We bust our butt to find new AOs and to try to bring these events to not only to AMS, but to the whole community. And it's been really good. It's been a long road of a lot of events, but still learning every day, and I love it. Really do.
That's awesome. We've had. I mean, I don't know if you went back and saw any. We've had several of the major event producers on now talking about it, and it's always impressive to see how you guys come from, hey, let's give this a shot, to 80 events later.
I know. It really manifested, for the people that don't know, it really manifested out of the old company was called MilSim Event with Frosty and Claymore. And one day, they kind of had it out and decided they want to go separate ways. And we were sitting in a hotel room at an event a long time ago, and Blake goes, "Man, we just need to come up with a new company, call it American MilSim." I'm like, "All right."
Just like that. That easy. There it is.
Yeah, it was really cool. It's like we got to get JP involved, and of course Rick Castern. We had 4 owners for about 8 years, and then Blake got the founder, the grandfather of it all, the founder of American MilSim, who I love dearly to this day. His father passed him down their big refrigeration business, so he had to kind of step away. And to this day, he is still AMS 01 and will always be. And after that, then Rick got a different job with banking, and he had to leave, and same with JP. So now it's down to me and my buddy Cody Crawford. So we got 2 of us, and we got a great staff, and it's been a good learning curve over the past couple of years, but it's off and running, man. We enjoy it. I'm very emotional about the industry as a whole, because we work very hard at American MilSim to welcome every player from it's your first time to it's your 30th, 50th, 80th event. And with that being said, not to get into the weeds here, but we throw a very big net. We cast a big net to a lot of players, and trying to build, design, cater a game to new players, to middle players, to super advanced players is extremely difficult.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why we came out with our American MilSim local games. And those have been very popular over the years, that basically feed our players from local games to our bigger games. Which
I actually wasn't aware of that. I didn't know that you guys did local games as well. That's really cool. We've talked many times about we have a field that Enough It Is has a field, and we talk about the responsibility of the local field owner training these guys right, so when they do go to MilSim events, they're prepared. They know what to expect. They behave themselves. It's important to raise them properly.
It really is. It really is, and that gives us an opportunity to bring kind of an AMS light, so to say, to these games where they still get all the information prior to the event. They still get to partake in everything that we do, and it's a little more comfortable for them because I'm telling you right now, I'm not sure if you guys know this. I'm sure you do, but at least in our side of the industry, with AMS in particular, we're really experiencing a major influx in new players.
Yep.
Major influx. And so in two pieces, it makes me very happy, but it also makes me very nervous. As you know, where is all the former players? But when you're doing it as long as we've been doing it, the airsoft industry comes in rows of 2 to 3 to 4 years, in my opinion. So all the players that were there and AMS started up, they have gone on to new jobs, had a family, went to other promoters, or quit the sport entirely. And so we see these up and downs go through over the course of 12 years. And we're on one of those upticks right now in new players. And so catering to them and really helping them and doing what we can to have good events is, it's always a challenge. You know, it really is.
Absolutely. The influx, trying to control that as much as possible is incredibly difficult. Keeping, you know, we know as field owners, we know, all right, you're going to get guys around 11, 12 years old. They stay till roughly 16, 17. They start working or get a car, get a girlfriend. They do things like that. If you get the guys that stay past that, okay, those are good until they turn 18, 19. Now they're in college. Oh, some stay past that. If you've got them all the way to about 22, they're playing airsoft for life.
They're basically heroin addicts, yes.
Yeah, those are the ones that you know for sure.
Yes.
You're not going anywhere.
Right.
And it's to keep those as your core. My opinion is recognize those guys as soon as you can and get them as involved as you can. So when they bring their friends, they tell them, listen, don't just go around shooting kids in the face. There's actually something more to it than just that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I definitely believe in that.
Yeah.
So,
and ideally, that core group of people you're trying to bring in while they've been going through the years of playing and coming to your event, you're raising them up to be the role models and examples to their friends and newer players, which is very important.
Yes. And I mean, we honestly, you know, it's one of the things that I don't know if it's because I'm old, but I firmly believe in this industry and helping every single possible event promoter to do well. We're very adamant about promoting everyone. You know, when people ask us a lot, should I go to this promoter? Should I go to this promoter? And my answer is always 1000%. You know, you need to go to any games you can go to. And, you know, same with these AOs that we find, and us to tell these players, I'm like, look, man, I mean, you're not here for American MilSim. You're here at this facility for the airsoft industry as a whole. So you do a good job of taking care of this facility, showing these people that this facility, this industry, and these people can come here, have an event. The players aren't crazy, take care of the facility, then other event promoters can come, right? I mean, when we called Muscatatuck last year, and I talked to Brian, and I said, hey, man, you know, we're looking at having an airsoft event. He goes, Bo, we don't do that anymore here. I said, what? He goes, we don't do airsoft here. We don't do that. We stopped doing that 4 or 5 years ago. I'm like, but I understand, but just give me 5 minutes. All I want is 5 minutes. And so I got 5 minutes, and we ended up having 20 calls and finally did a site visit. And we had our first big event. It was really good. We had like 1,000 players. It's crazy. We learned a lot.
Wait. You can't gloss over 1,000 players, man.
You had 1,000 players.
We had 1,100. We had 1,100.
You had over it. Oh my god!
Yeah, so biggest event I've ever gone to had 600 players, but I got to interrupt. I can't pick and this is MUTC. Right? I played there. You got to be shoulder to shoulder, scattered across the entire place with 1,100 people. It was crazy.
We literally rented the entire place. We had 1,100, and we learned a lot at that game. They told us of course, here's the thing, kind of back what we're talking about, not to go on a tangent, but we told them we'd be very responsible, take care of the place, trust us, we got it under wraps. And the guy said, hey, what are you going to do about all these doors that these people can't go in? I said, don't worry about it. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And we literally printed out AMS no-go 247 doors, had to go duct tape on every single door to go in. And after the event, we cleaned it up, took care of it. And, I told everybody, I'm like, look, man, this is a great facility for the industry to be able to use. Take care of it. You're playing for everybody. And luckily enough, believe it or not, I'm not just saying this, but Mir got to go twice. MilSim West has been. They're going again. That other company that's really good, I forgot their name right now, I'm sorry, but they've been. So it's a great facility. And it's, and we firmly believe that every time we go out and find these new ones, which I'll talk to y'all about something very exciting in a minute. Every time we find these new ones, we are, we're very adamant about taking care of it and explaining to the player base, hey, man, this is for everybody. So I'm very emotional about all that stuff because now it's all I do for a living. I don't work for LBT anymore.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did for 10 years with LBT and LBX and loved it. But when JP, my former buddy, still my good buddy, but he ended up leaving the company, I had to do it all. And so he handed everything to me. So it was a big jump until we could get Cody acclimated. So I had to leave LBT. It was a tough decision, but I had to do it because AMS needs 100% of me all the time, so.
That's awesome. So again, a quick throwback. Steve Tom from Dark Horse 6 saying hi. He said he was there for the 1,000-player event. I had someone who I look up to a couple streams ago. Jonathan Higgs was on here.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Right. And I never got to meet him before, but since I started Airsoft, I've been watching Airsoftology. I followed him. Like a lot of things that I do and did were because of I watched him and his behavior and how he did things. And we talked about being able to end up working in Airsoft, making a career out of it, being able to do those kind of things, and it's a blessing. I mean, it really is a nightmare, but it's a blessing at the same time. Being able to
it rules. It's good.
I keep trying to get him to come full time with me, and he's hesitant.
He's getting closer.
But to make that transition can be scary, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you do it, you're like this, and honestly, hearing some of the things you're saying is the reason why I do it. Toucan knows that I love, I love the community. The community is fantastic to me. It's the only reason I do it. I do it for the players, the kids mostly, actually. But I watch families bond. I get to see all that. It's. I mean, to me, it's not really a job. It's stressful, but it's not a job. I'm getting to bring something to somebody.
It is. And when you get to do it, it's pretty crazy, and doing it this long. I mean, it's a lot of pressure. I'm not going to lie, running these events and doing them over and over. And I'm a very, I'm going to say emotional person, but I believe that every single person that walks up to me that tells me the game was good or bad, it means everything to me. And when one person out of 20, 30, 100, 400 comes up and says, dude, I'm not having a good time, or this is not going right, I'll have a breakdown. I can't take it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where I'm always working as hard as we are to have good events. And like I said, we're always learning, and it's tough. But, you have good ones and you have ones that are kind of shady. But, nowadays we have this conversation all the time, is that a big factor in the success of these events, and I'm sure MilSim West will tell you, Josh, Third Coast, Sal, everybody will tell you, it's the player base. The player base is determining a lot of whether these events go well or not, based on if they're following the rules, they're following protocol, they're going along with the op boards. If they're not doing what they need to be doing, then a lot of their players suffer. So it's we are subject to that as well, and we're trying to figure that out now.
You mentioned the influx of players coming in. One of the things that I see slowly happening, which is something I've been a huge desire of mine to see happen, is Airsoft becoming a little more and more organized, creating a semblance of leadership in the community as a whole. When you start having guys, you're like, listen, if you don't read like you said, if you don't read the op board, you're not going to have a good time, because you're going to go, you're not going to know what's going on, and you're just going to run around like it's a big old, it's a slugfest, and you're going to be like, this sucked, and you leave. If you read the op board, you play the game, you get immersed, you do those kind of things, you play it like it was designed, it's a fantastic time.
It's 100% true, and that's the majority of the time, that's exactly what happens. The players come out and they're not involved, and then they get upset and they don't have a good time, and then here we go. It's the start of the process all over again.
Yeah, it absolutely so I'll use that as a segue, because your upcoming event, your most recent upcoming event, is one that I've wanted to come to for 3 years, and thought for sure this year was going to be it, because my son, who just ETS from active duty and went to the reserves, he's home now, works for me full time, and it's because of him we're in Airsoft, and this is an event that I've wanted to go to for, like I said, for 3 years since I learned about it. I didn't know anything about it. I learned about it, which is Copperhead, right?
Yes. Yes.
An event that is just absolutely amazing. And I really, please talk about that. I'm actually gonna throw it up here. Let's see.
Can y'all hear me now? Is it still good, or are we still lagging?
No, I think it looks like you picked back up.
Yeah, you've been crystal the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time you were perfect, but
Okay.
I think it dropped a little bit.
Okay, because on my end it's showing a little bit of lag. On my end it's showing
little bit,
y'all
but
can
it's
hear me,
fine.
that's
It's
cool.
doable.
Nothing.
Okay. Yeah, Copperhead is it's an amazing game. We're very fortunate to have that facility, and this will be number 9, which is absolutely crazy to me that we've been going there that long. And that place took us, I'm not kidding, it took us 2 years to acquire it. So it was just very difficult for them to believe in us and think that we could actually do it and that we're a good client. And the event is really good. The event is it's a very violent event. There's a lot of houses and a lot of home clearing, and we obviously have vehicles, and we try to implement La Losa, which is really cool. And it's a great game. It really is, I think, one of our better games that we put out, because we've been there so long. And sure, we're going to have some ups and downs on it, but at the end of the day, we've kind of got a foothold on the AO itself, how it plays, and kind of goes back to what you and I were saying. If people get immersed and know what's going on, they can really have a good time.
So this
field is beautiful.
It's basically like a small town.
Yeah, it's literally an abandoned town from the early 90s that was part of a smelter and a copper mine. So it's some of these houses you roll in, and with a little coat of paint and some furniture, you'd move right in. And we're actually playing in them. And then some of them are pretty bad shape. But it's incredible that a place like this is completely empty, and now they do a lot of space, and it's pretty crazy. A lot of top secret stuff goes on there. We're not allowed on some certain areas in some buildings, but the place is incredible.
Fantastic.
It really is.
Like I said, hearing about it, knowing about it, and the boys from Dark Horse 6, we've talked about trying to get with them to go down there, go over there. This was going to be the year, and now, because of everything that's going on, I unless at the last second I decided to try to make my way. We've got North Carolina this weekend,
Right.
And then next weekend is Copperhead, and then I'm still trying to open my a brand. Too much going on, I think.
I know.
You said you used a phrase. You said La Losa. What?
Yeah, so La Losa, we have implemented a third faction. We used to do it a lot in the early days of AMS, but La Losa is basically a cartel faction, and these guys ride around in vehicles and help facilitate missions, and they do a lot of role playing that raises a lot of questions, concerns, opens objectives, and they do a lot of really cool stuff during the game. Well, they roll up and throw things out. You can negotiate with them for drone usage, for money, for information, stash houses, and you got to be very careful how you approach them. Whether they engage or don't engage, or it's very cool. And this year we're going to be going back to, believe it or not, I sent the email out today, to blank fire. Melissa will have blank fire this year, which would be pretty cool. AMS had blank fire back in the day, 12 years ago, for the first couple of years of our events. And, we're no stranger to it. We had it in very controlled environments with the dam missions. It was very heavy back in the dam mission days. And we've implemented our games off and on, but we've just kind of been weary of it. Unless it's our immediate staff doing it, we just didn't want to do it. This year it is our immediate staff, and they're going to be doing it, and it's going to be very cool. So it's something we're looking to implement this year as a little change. But it's going to be
Tom
cool.
asked if Copperhead will ever host it in another location or AO. Will you ever move that event to another location?
No. We will never, usually don't ever change facilities with the same name. So we will be dropping a pretty big bomb on the industry here pretty soon, and we're very excited. It's another one we acquired, and it's been unobtainium for 7 years for me, and I finally got it. So yeah, it's been a while. So we're going to actually release the video and let everybody know about it.
You're saying you're not going to say it here live?
Can I say it here live?
I had to ask, man. You get nowhere in this world if you don't ask, if you don't try, right?
I'd love to, but I think there's literally 6 people that know about it. So we're finalizing.
Oh, we lost you. We lost you again. We lost you again, Bo.
We did lose you. Fuck. Yeah. All that for the suspense.
Well, it's all right. Listen, he got through the first part. We'll get him back into for the next one. Maybe pop in, pop out. It looks like it's trying to catch itself back up. Like your video is freezing up a little bit. We can watch it live here in 2 to 4 business days. You shut up, Brandon. Pop back out and pop back in, but let's see if that works again. Yeah, because your video is moving slow now. And yeah, you're definitely, everything's lagging. So take yourself out and come back in. While we wait for the technical difficulties to fix themselves again. So Copperhead, I mean, honestly, and Toucan, you know this, I'm still thinking about trying.
I remember hearing about Copperhead 3.
Let's see, hang on.
Oh.
There we go. You were...
Thanks, sorry.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, continue on, sir.
Okay. But in a nutshell, yeah, so we're very excited about this new facility that we'll be announcing here soon at Copperhead. And then that's going to be a big deal for us, and I think the industry as a whole. And then obviously right after the Copperhead, we go to 1861, then Arsenal, which we're excited for that one as well. Ticket sales are a little slower than I like, but I think it's okay. And then we do reindeer games at the end of the year, which last year we had, I think, just over 600 because we had both mount sites, and looks like this year we'll have both as well. And so that should be another really good game at the end of the year. So that's kind of where we're at.
So you're averaging how many games a year?
10.
10 games a year.
This year was 10. This was a lot. It's a lot, but we do our best to stretch them across the country based on weather, based on location, based on player base. So we're not anywhere near the same area more than, we try to really bounce around. So, we'll be in Texas, and then we'll go to Pennsylvania, and then we'll go to North Carolina, and then back to Texas. We try to bounce around as much as we can.
It gives the opportunity. I hate being as busy as we are. I did commit that this year I'm going to go to more events. I'm going to go play more events. I want to get out there some more. It's been, my play as I started the business and got more and more into the business, my play time went like this. So
yeah,
I'm sure you're familiar with that.
I am.
What? So obviously you were a player first, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You've been a part of AMS since before it was AMS. So like you said, over 12 years.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing?
So my first game was a very small game in South Texas at this really cool field. And God, I can't remember the name of it, but my first big game was actually John Liu, Irene.
Okay.
And that's when I was really woken up to the whole concept of what this could actually be. And I'm like, dude, this is crazy. And I had a ball, and I'm telling you, this is an unpopular opinion, but if I had my way right now, I'd go back to what Mr. John Liu did, and I would have 2 uniforms. That's it. That's it. And I mean, that's what he did. I remember my buddies calling me. He's like, if you want to play the American side, you have to wear 3-color desert. We're going to play Delta, so you have to wear a black helmet. And if you're going to play the other team, it's Woodlawn. That's it. If you don't have that uniform, you can't go. And I remember going, don't worry, I'm going to buy it. I'm in, because it was a part of it. And I think, that's a whole nother conversation. But I would love to.
That's what we're here for, though. I mean,
it was great.
That might be the most unpopular event producer opinion I've ever heard. Out of everybody I've talked to, that one thing you said, that's the most controversial thing. I kind of like it, though. I do kind of like it. If all these companies obviously put on good events, and if you have a really good event at a really good location and you say, hey, man, this is the rules. This is what we're doing. Are you in or out? What I've learned over time, and this is not a shot at the bow across all airsoft players, because I love them all, honestly, because I really do. I've been there and I love it. But if you play airsoft, you play MilSim, whatever you want to call it, you get in these games, you got more than one uniform. You do. Don't tell me you don't, because you do. And if you're buying guns, you're buying an extra battery, you eventually get an extra gun, you buy your radio, you're going to have probably a helmet cover. You have an option, especially for a particular game that you want to go to do that. And it's on our list. I'm telling you, we're thinking about it. We're always thinking about it. And we got a couple more crazy ideas, which I can't share right now, but there's some things that we want to do to really shake it up even more that nobody's done yet, that I think are very, very cool. It's just logistically trying to get them dialed in.
Sure. That's the hard. The idea, turning the idea into reality is always the most difficult piece.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah,
awesome
Greg.
If we could do that. Listen, I'm doing it. Am I not? I'm getting shorter by the day by doing it, though. I'm just bone density is leaving my body.
Bo, I have to ask you. Your first event you went to, what gun were you using?
A KWA SR10.
He knew it.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. And then I had right after that, I got talked into a classic Army LWRC, I think it was, and it took a crap.
Get out of here.
Hold on, I can't right now, son. I'll be back. Give me a second, buddy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. And that gun ran, and I'm telling you, my buddy Daniel Castro, he and Robbie Russo own MilSim Media. I think he still has the gun because he bought it from me. So it's I think it's 14 years old, and he said, man, it still rips. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
See,
Wow.
I am a function over form kind of guy. I always have been. So when I started playing, my son, on the other hand, he could tell you every gun known to man. He could tell you gear. One eye with the sun in his eyes, he could tell you who's wearing what. Whole thing. Green, tan. That's all I care. I don't care. Am I going somewhere? My tan looks tan. Green looks green. And I make sure that my gear. If I'm playing tan, I have tan gear. If I'm playing green, I have green gear, because I don't like the confusion when is that multicam? Is multicam green or tan?
I know.
I just end up shooting whatever.
I can tell you that it's been one of the bigger challenges of what we're doing with our local games, where we have to really lay the hammer down on patterns. Mm-hmm. And what these players, let me make sure I get this verbiage right. So what I try to do is and this is honestly how I believe that when we do these local games, you bring these players in, they're learning, and you say, listen, if you want to come to a local game, here is 6 patterns for each team. Pick one and come, right? They don't get the right pattern. They don't get the right gear. They kind of screw up, and we, pull them in the parking lot. And I'm like, hey, man, it's one of the hardest things to do. It's like, hey, man, you cannot wear Oscam. You cannot wear Flecktarn. You cannot go on the field without it. You cannot go on the field if you're wearing it. You can't go. And so what I'm trying to do is not be this disciplinarian or father figure, or I'm not trying to do that. I'm saying, guys, look, in the grand scheme of playing these events, obviously there's a lot of options. And if you want to play, you want to come from your backyard to your local field, to your regional game, to your local big field, to an AMS game, to a MilSim West, Third Co, whoever, there's a discipline factor that has to take place.
I agree.
Don't roll up on Josh Warren at MilSim West wearing something you're not supposed to be wearing, because that's not going to work, right? Mm-hmm. So what I try to tell them the same thing. I'm like, look, man, you start now and start getting your kits together. and it's all about the discipline part of it. And then it folds into because we hope that falls into the radio, falls into the right headgear, falls into, you have everything for the game. You can sustain yourself throughout the whole game. It all starts a snowball, and you become organized and take care of what you're doing at that game design. Then if you want to go to Third Coast and play their game, or you want to go to MilSim West or Mir or whatever, you can start getting yourself dialed in. And that's kind of why we do that. And it's really worked. The local games have done wonders for, people staying in compliance for the games. It's just done wonders.
So you're saying stress discipline and personal responsibility, but when I just became best friends. I'm sorry.
That's right. That's it.
That's all there is to it. That's just what happened.
And if you honestly look at that from a 10,000 foot view, that's everything. It's everything. I tell players all the time in our safety briefing, I go, imagine a game where everyone follows the rules.
Stop.
Would you not have the best time of your life? I was like, all you have to do is your part. Mm-hmm. If you do your part, we can have Airsoft euphoria, right? And so, and that's what I really tried. At the end of the day, we all know what we're doing out there. We're all LARPing and having fun and cutting up, and we're spending money, $1,000 a ticket and hotel and food and flight and gear and grenades and BBs. I mean, just finish it up and follow the rules, and let's have a badass game, right? It's that simple.
I've heard people say, I paid to be here. My retort for that always is, then immerse yourself. Do what you came to do. Be what you're supposed to be. Be who you're supposed to be, because you paid to be here. And maybe consider the other people that paid to be here too, so you don't mess their game up.
Yeah,
that's. That I try to stress. I'm sorry, Toucan, I cut you off.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm seeing some of these comments popping in. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's just, we in this industry are very small together, between all the promoters, all the field owners, all of the sponsors, and the people that really provide this entire thing that we're doing. And I think when you have these event promoters, we have a very big responsibility to really make sure I guess the word nurturing is about right, but we have this responsibility to keep the industry disciplined and organized and structured, and keep these facilities allowing us to come. And, and if you live in Northwest, or you live in California, or you live in Florida, or you live, you need to keep your event promoter going. Go to their games, and you need to keep your local stores going, and it all works together. I mean, there is no world where there should be one event promoter and one store. It just doesn't exist, right? So every time more event promoters pop up, we love it. I mean, do our ticket numbers hurt a little bit? Absolutely, but that is a part of it, right? I mean, it is honestly a part of this industry growing, and I love to hear when new people are branching out and having games. I mean, Full Send MilSim is doing a water park game down there, and I love that dude. He comes to all of our games. He's a great guy. I wish I could go, but it easily took 50, 60, 70 players from Copperhead probably this year, and I'm so happy for that guy. It's at a great venue. If he starts having good events, I'm happy for him. I mean, it really is a great thing. I believe in it.
It's not competition, it's marketing. In my opinion, it's, the more we have, the more awareness there is, the more people come in, and it grows. If I got to lose 10, 15, 20 people or whatever it is to later on gain 50, 60, 70 people, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, a rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just telling you, it's the truth. I'm a firm believer in it, but yeah, so it's been a really good year, for us. And I think the industry as a whole, and, we're trying to get our, I know the economy is kind of hurting everybody, and I'm hearing that from a lot of, stores and field owners and stuff. But at the end of the day, we are trying to, I'm looking at it now, but we're trying to get our schedule for next year dialed in. And our goal is to get it as soon as we can, to give people the options to know where they can go and not go or whatever. And if things go right, we'll be announcing 2 brand new AOs to our repertoire for next year, and which would be very good. We try to have at least 1 or 2 new a year, but
that's all. Just 1 or 2 new AOs a year. Entirely new event. Whatever.
I mean, that's what I'm trying. But it is hard to have to. We unfortunately found out Black Site, which is a really cool facility, down in Alabama. It is owned by a very popular comedian, and he is putting together he's turned that place into an entire studio, recording studio, stuff for movies, stuff for, I mean, it's crazy. And so we are probably going to be our last year there. So this will be our last black site. So now we've got to look for other facilities to go to. And, you know, looking at it right here, it's pretty scary, you know, of all we have. So next year may only be 9, you know, but, you know,
just 9.
That's all. Now you were doing you were trying to do blockade last year, and then
yes,
you guys ended up backing away. Is that happening this year?
So kind of back what we were talking about here. You know, I love Matt with Striker Airsoft, and he is a good kid. And we kind of found that location at the same time. And I found it through LBT. He found it through somebody else. And we went down there, did a site visit, and we kind of met. We kind of laughed because the guy that said he runs it really didn't run it. That's a whole long story. But
we've heard.
About it.
So Matt and I talk, and I'm like, well, you know, of course, you know, we'll try to do it together, you know. And Florida is pretty landlocked, and it's in the south, obviously east corner of the United States, and Matt is, I mean, Florida is really Matt's territory. And to be honest with you, as much as I've seen how well that guy does, what a great guy he is, his all the BB stuff he's got, I mean, everything he does, you know, that's his territory. And so we did a game, and we opened up tickets. We probably sold maybe 150 to 200, and we were renting the entire place, which would have cost a lot of money. And I mean, a lot of money. We're renting the whole Southern prison as well, and you know, it's very expensive. And so we decided to pull the plug, and I was like, I called Matt. I'm like, hey, dude, we're pulling the plug on Florida. I'm going to promote you. You know, we made a post. We're like, hey, dude, we're pulling, you know, blockade, but we highly recommend you guys go to Matt's game. And that's really, we have no problem promoting the people's games on our site. You know, we talked all about it, left a link, everything. Hoped that he had a great game. And Florida's real fickle. To answer your question long-windedly, Florida's a very fickle environment, you know, with all the people, you know, Ted up in Pensacola, and everybody down at Stampede, and Jonathan at Airsoft Barracks. And I called all my people, and Florida was just not buying at the time because they had already bought tickets for Matt's, and it was just a tough thing for us. So I don't know if we'll go back there, because I'd like to go when it's perfect weather, but Matt's kind of got that dialed in, and I think he's having his Operation Cassivac in February. January?
Yes, sir.
So I don't want to go anywhere near him to possibly hurt his event again, and it won't really help either one of us. So we decided we're going to look elsewhere. And if he decides he doesn't want to go down there one year, then he'll probably call me, and then we'll go. But I don't really want to step on his toes down in his territory, and I want him to have a good event. And, you know, we talked for probably an hour after his first event, and he's just a good guy. I mean, I'll support him as much as he wants. I really like him. So
you talked him off the ledge after his first event. No, we know him personally. We know him personally, and he's retooled and done a lot. And he's taken a lot of the constructive criticism, which is great. And we've, you know, I've talked to, you know, when we had Sal on, we had Josh on. You know, both of them, you know, all three of you speak very similarly, and you have to have a similar mindset in order to be successful in this. Yeah, it's about taking that criticism, taking constructive criticism, listening to your audience.
It is
to your customers. Like, okay, this sucked and this was great. Does everybody say that? Yes. Then we cut this piece out and we increase this piece. If one guy says it sucked, then maybe it was the guy. You know, but
you're right. I mean, and that's really the toughest part that we have to deal with in this industry, and I'm sure all promoters agree, is that, you know, it's the learning to not only listen, but to make sure the players understand that we are listening. But it is in a very, very serious challenge running these events, and there's so many factors that go into it that the average player does not. I mean, they understand, but they kind of don't, right? And so our job is to really keep them happy and say, hey, man, we're hearing it. You know, we love the emails. We love the phone calls. We love the messages. You know, why do you do this? Why do you do that? And believe me, you know, I'll spend hours and hours responding to all this and trying to explain to them. But it's very hard sometimes to get them to understand the depth of the things that we have to do and change. You know, it's kind of like with the AOs, our goal is certainly not to ever, saw Tom said about AO poaching and stepping around people. A big reason why we do our events as early as we can for the rest of the year is so, number one, so people know, hey, I can go to this game, I can try to make AMS, I can go to whatever else because A, B, and C. But the biggest thing is that, we can only go to these AOs when they allow us. Like, I don't just call Guardian Center and be like, hey man, I need this date. And they go, okay. Right. So
Yeah.
we can only build our schedule off of the AOs when they allow us to. And so a lot of players will call and complain, why are you doing it this day? And, what's up, Tanner? Why are you doing this? And why are you doing that? And, we can only do what we're given, so we try. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's that,
Anyway.
that is, and when we've run 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games total, 8 events total. I think it's 8. And as we were getting bigger, I looked around. I looked at TCA, I looked at MilSim West, I looked at AMS to make sure we're trying to host a new game, and there's enough buffer on either side that I'm not going to lose out because, comparatively speaking, we're the little guy, to the three of you, especially the three, and Lion Claw as well. So the 4. I'm going to lose out to that. So I try to put that buffer on either side, but we have to, it makes sense to play nice with each other. It makes sense to work with each other, to reach out. There's no reason not to not be open to the conversations. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. And I mean, and when when you said just now, you're like, hey man, we're the little guy, but remember, I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but we were too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody was. Everybody was.
Absolutely.
And 12 years later in 80 events, that's a different story. But I remember stepping at a broken home, in front of 300 or 400 people for our first event and going, oh my God, this actually has happened. And so here we are 12 years later and billions of hours and pesos on the hour. Hey, it's like, you're like, dude, it happens. And it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's worth it. And, like I said, I will do Copperhead one of these days. I definitely, I need to. It's one of those games that absolutely I've heard
you should.
So much.
I mean, Copperhead is a very unique AO. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I would, if you guys don't have anything the first part of the year, you need to look into what we're going to be announcing in a couple of weeks. That's going to be
yes.
That's going to be something that you're going to want to go, and we're going to probably. I hope that we sell what I think we're going to sell, but we definitely have to cap it. We can't let it go wide open like Arsenal. So it's going to be probably a quick ticket to get, but it's going to be a good one. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's really one of the biggest challenges is just getting these AOs and being able to host a good game there.
Sure.
There's a lot of AOs out there. I don't like to talk about it, but there's a lot of AOs that we have looked at that we go, we can't have a game there.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have a game. I mean, we looked at Muscatatuck, I'm telling you, I think 10 years ago, and we go, and that was back when they were only letting you have certain sections and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, we looked and looked. There's a lot of stuff. It's just trying to. That's 80% of the battle is a good AO, because honestly, what's happening now, I think that all event promoters are kind of really having a lot of good games and people are having a lot of fun. And now I hate to say it, but it is borderline, unless it's a very specific, different game type. I think really now it's not just a race for AOs, but it kind of is.
Kind of is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody. I don't remember the last time I heard anything really bad about another event promoter. People come up to me all the time during our games because I'm walking around when I stop playing. I'm an admin and I walk around and talk and get feedback, etc. But I can't tell you how many times I hear people going to other venues and other event promoters and saying how much fun they have. And I don't hear a lot of negativity, honestly. And usually, about everybody else. Sometimes I hear negativity about our game, but I don't hear negativity about everybody else. So, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I've seen the difference the game itself can make being played at the same event, or at the same AO rather. That's the game. We're seeing a lot of that happening now over the past year and a half or so, 2 years, where like yourself, and I know Sal, like with what's TCA's latest one?
They're doing Bone Crusher.
Not it's their brand new their brand new event style.
Crossbones.
Crossbones, that's what it is. Yeah, Sal's like, let's try something new.
Yeah.
You know, and watching you guys come up with the next thing. You know, when I talked to Josh
is doing something new too.
Yeah, he's actually bringing. It's almost like everybody's kind of morphing into and moving into gray areas where they didn't play before. You know.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, because now you can go what you expected to have here happen over here, and then a little something more or a little something less. Sometimes you want it relaxed more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all of it going together is really awesome.
And I believe, you know, the one thing I do talk about a lot, not only in briefings, because I'm trying to get these players to sustain themselves from Stardex to Index, a big part of it. But with that flows into, we are lucky on that accord that we do have, in my opinion, drastically different game styles. You know, Third Coast has their majority game style. I know they're coming into new stuff, which is fantastic.
Yep.
But they do have where they normally take breaks. And then we have where we don't during the day, but we don't go 48 hours. But then you have MilSim West that goes 48 hours. So there is a little bit of something different for everybody. And I think that is good.
Oh,
it
yeah.
is good. You know, I think that's a very big part of why everybody, in my opinion, is so successful. Right? You know, you may not like an event or a event promoter or a facility, but for the end of the day, the good news is you have a lot of choices, and that's what's good. You know.
Yeah, I agree. This has been awesome. I really do appreciate it. We went a little over because we had a little bit of a delay there.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Because we messed up. Just us. No one else but us.
No, it was me. It was me.
We'll take it.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
I appreciate your time. This was awesome, and I hope this is not the last time. I do want to actually come to an event, but I want to actually meet you in person, shake your hand. Thank you for what you've been doing. It does mean a lot. And I appreciate it. It's just been fantastic. We appreciate it. Any last words? Anything you want to leave with?
Man, just thank you so much. You know, and for everybody here, I appreciate everybody popping on and watching and saying a couple questions and asking stuff. And I appreciate the opportunity, guys. I really do. I mean, it means a lot to me that you guys were to call and ask me to be on your podcast. And,
thank you.
You know, it's, you know, we're all one big family in this. And I think that the more we realize that, the more we ought to make sure we're all successful and helping each other out. And again, it's my honor to be on here. And thank you guys so much again. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bo. Toucan?
Okay.
I was gonna say, you're honored to be here, Bo. Us asking you to come on this podcast is like a hot dog stand asking Gordon Ramsay to come work.
Come on.
The privilege is ours. Seriously.
Yeah, it really, I really do appreciate it and having you on. You taking the time out of your, which is obviously busy schedule.
Yeah, I got a call right now. I got a call with Plias right after for a copperhead right after this. So.
All right, I'm gonna thank you so much again. We'll talk again soon, guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everybody, and we will. We'll see you then.
Okay, thank you, guys.